There are many ways you can get kicked off a cruise ship, and surprisingly, some of them can be out of your control. And a lot of times, people who do cruising often do not know that many times passengers and even the crew members are removed from the ships they are on based on a lot of factors. Some of these factors can range from minor to very serious issues, and if you are on a cruise, whether as a passenger or crew member, you will need to know all of these things that can easily see you being kicked off the ship, to even being indefinitely banned from ever going on a cruise again. Just before we begin though, I've been putting out a lot of videos and I love to reach 100 subscribers, as these videos do take some effort and research to make for your benefit, so I'm asking, get me to 100 subscribers please. Alright, let's begin. So getting kicked off a cruise ship can be out of your control sometimes. That's why this first one is covering the fact that you can be removed from sailing on board if you are severely ill, injured, or require shoreside medical care. I wouldn't necessarily say you are kicked off, but it can feel like that sometimes, and in some cases you don't even need to be severely ill to be kicked off your cruise. As long as you are a threat to the health of other passengers and crew on board, then this can be your ticket off the ship. The next reason you can be kicked off your cruise is by not following a certain protocol as soon as you embark the ship. If you are very reluctant in not attending the required muster drill on board, then you can find your cruise ending just as soon as it began. So whether you have just boarded the cruise and you went immediately to the pool side and already having a drink, your cruise still hasn't started until you have attended the muster drill. Muster drills are done for the safety of the crew and passengers on board, and is required before a ship is intended to set sail, so that every person on board will understand their roles and duty in the case of any emergency that may occur later on in the cruise. But in recent times, some cruises have adopted the new e-muster technology that allows you to not physically be present to attend the muster drill, but can easily watch it on your TV in your stateroom or on your smartphone. But doing this, you will still be required to attend your muster station so that you can confirm you understood what the information was displayed during the e-muster drill. Now, this next reason isn't necessarily for passengers but for crew members, as we can see ourselves being dismissed from being on board based on poor work performance or being late for duty consistently. Crew members are not always perfect, especially when they are required to be on duty, sometimes minimum 10 hours a day for 7 days every week. So you can expect sometimes that crew performance may dip, and sometimes even drastically. But as long as the crew can manage to deliver their task and not be late, they are generally safe from being booted from the ship. Otherwise, on some cruise lines, there will be a 3-stage approach before a crew member is finally relieved of their duties on board, and this can follow a verbal warning, a written warning, and a captain's hearing. If you reach the stage of a captain's hearing, then this is when you know you would have to leave the ship, and this is a very scary situation for many crew members. But don't worry, the travel arrangements are generally taken care of by the cruise line, and it will be the cruise line's duty to ensure that the crew member will make it back to their home country, which is the country of their passport. The next reason you can get kicked off a cruise ship is if you are caught trying to sneak anything illegal on board, such as drugs and other banned substances. And this can be sometimes you are out and about shoreside and get approached by shady people who wants to sell you these type of things, and sometimes they know this will get you in a lot of trouble, so without being aware, they try to sneak these things in your belongings when you're not paying attention. So whenever you are out shoreside, just make sure to stay clear from any shady activities, as this can call for your immediate removal from on board if you are caught with any illegal substances, and sometimes have the local authorities to escort you off the ship. Now, this next reason is a very serious one to avoid whenever you are on board, and it would be mad if you actually even attempt to do this, because this reason is actually about making threats to harm others on board, and even talking about hijacking a ship or building bombs. Trust me, the last thing while on vacation is for a cruise line to be suspect that there are terrorists on board, because now everything has been moved to a heightened stage of alert, meaning locking down and keeping everyone in their rooms as investigations continue. In this time, it will be the security's responsibility to map out any suspicious passengers on board and try to locate any harmful devices or contrabands, if it comes down to that. This can lead to even having state authorities, the FBI, or other federal agents taking the suspects into custody and in lockdown. So even jokingly, it is best to stay clear of any of this intent, as this can land you in a lot of trouble you wouldn't need on your vacation. Another way you can get kicked off a cruise ship is by having fake documents. Yes, that is right, and very surprisingly common thing to happen on board. There are many times passengers board a cruise using fake documents, and the shocking thing is, this does happen with crew members as well. As on one of the cruise ships I used to work for, hired a crew member who had actually falsified a South African passport when they were actually from another country. They were eventually found out and kicked off the ship and deported to their original country. But when it comes to the passengers, this could even be fake IDs being used on board, as sometimes the underage kids would have these fake documents so they can get drinks at the bar. If you are found out holding fake documents on board or even counterfeit cash, stolen credit and debit cards, then you can face also fines, be kicked off the ship, and even completely banned from cruising. So it's best to avoid doing any of these things if you don't want to be kicked off your cruise. If you've enjoyed the information from this video, I am now asking you to leave a like, comment below anything you'd like to share with the rest of us, and also watch my next video that you may see here on the screen. It's Onik, your cruise employee, and I'm out.